Hello, friends. After a long time, I'm back with my history session, and today's topic is Vedic period. Yes, we are going to study about the ancient Indian history. Let's go to our points. Okay, the Vedic period. You can see the image. You can see the sages. All sadhus are sitting doing yagna. I mean, they're teaching courses going on. You can see river behind a village kind of environment where you can see the herds, and it seems that they are in the living in forest. So let's talk more about this. But before we start, first thing we need to understand, when we talk about history, in many sessions of mine I have mentioned this, that we need some sources. Sources means through some means we can get the information. And when you want to study about the Vedic period, there are two sources which are the main source, that is literary source and the archaeological source. Literary source itself says that it's about the books. Archaeological says about all the artifacts. When we talk about the literary sources, the Vedas are the most important literary source when you study about the Vedic period. Why? Because all the literatures is it is revolving in and around of Vedas. Okay, all the literatures, whether it is Brahmanas, Aryankas, whatever, we will study further how it is revolving around Vedas, that we will see. But let us see a bit about Vedas. Now, as you all must have heard that there are 8 Vedas, but in this 8 Vedas, the 4 were the most earliest one. That's Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda. Then Rig Veda is considered as the most oldest one, and that is why it is considered as the first testament of mankind, because it was the first thing which was written by humans. That's it is believed. Now, all the Vedas, if you see, it's in a poetic form. It's hymns, and they all are used for the religious purpose. They all are used for the rituals, for the ceremonies, and on several occasions. And the 4 Vedas, which I said that came later on, they were known as, in a group. It was known as Upavedas because they came in the later phase. But the most earliest one is Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva. Now let's talk about Brahmanas. Now this is also a simple commentary of Vedas. It is, you can say, a Vedas is written in a very simple way, which a simple sage can understand, a simple Hindu can understand and read it nicely. But this is in a prose form. It's not in a poetic form. Okay, and every Vedas had Brahmanas. So you can imagine that a smaller version of Vedas goes in the form of Brahmanas. So this is revolving around the Vedas. Second is Aryankas. Now, Aryankas is basically a book written for the hermits or the students who were studying in the ashrams, or the hermits who gave up this life and want to live their life in the forest. So, how to survive in forest? So that was explained in such books. Okay, now how this is related to Vedas, because in the Vedas there are certain mentions that once you reaches to certain age, then you give up everything which is there in the society and live your life in the forest. So if you live in a life in forest, so you need to know some laws, right? So that law, how to live, how to survive, is mentioned in this Aryankas. Then comes Upanishads. Upanishads is a philosophical commentaries on Vedas. Now this is basically written by all different sadhus or sages, whatever you say, in which is depicting their own philosophies on Vedas. Okay, so this is again revolving around the Veda. Then, besides this, there are other literature books which is again revolving around the Vedas. Now, see, one is the Vedangas. What does it shows? It shows the ways how you must recite Vedas. Then the Sutras. Again, it shows the rituals, the ceremonies, what all class rules should be followed, in a poetic hymns form. Then comes Upavedas. As I told you that earlier there were only four Vedas, and then later a group of Vedas came, which was known as Upavedas, and here you learn about medicine, music, warfare, art, and architecture. Okay, so these four Vedas are covered in Upavedas. Then come darshanas. What is darshana? Darshana, see, the word itself, darshan, it guides you. Okay, so these are the Indian philosophy which guides the people how to survive, how what you need to do when this occasion comes. So all that guidance are given in this. Dharma Shastra, again, it is a law of book which every class of Hinduism need to follow. If in the later studies we will do that how the Hindu society was divided into four faction, okay, so or four classes. Now every class have to follow some rules. So that is mentioned in Dharma Shastras. And last, asthat, Asthadhyai, that is Sanskrit grammar is mentioned in it. So if you want to improve your Sanskrit, better read this book. Anyways, so this was the main Vedas we covered up, and all the books related which was revolving around the Vedas we covered. The second literally source is the epic. Very much common, everyone must have heard of it, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ramayana is basically a story of Lord Ram. You can say right from his birth till the his kids were born and everything till he was died or whatever, every aspect. Basically, it highlights the time when he went on Vanvas for 14 years. So, how he survived, why he did, all the family ethics and values are shown in this. Okay. Ramayana was written by Maharishi Valmiki. He was the first person who wrote it in Sanskrit. Otherwise, Ramayana was orally transmitted from generation to generation. Even the Vedas, you'd say, even the Mahabharata, Ramayana, everything was orally transmitted. But in a book form or in a written form was done by Valmiki in the Sanskrit version. Okay. Then similarly we talk about Mahabharata. It was the Vyas who wrote it in Sanskrit. Okay, it's nothing that it is they made this story. No, the story was long back orally transmitted, but they were the first person to write it in Sanskrit and put it in a literally form in a book form for the next generation to read. Okay, now, when we talk about Mahabharata, this is also a story, but it is a story of two brothers. Brothers means cousin brothers, and there was a war of succession between them. So, this war between the Kauravas and Pandas, kids, I would really recommend you to see the animation based on Ramayana and Mahabharata, which will give you the entire story, why it happened, what was the reason, how it happened, how long it happened, and who all were involved into it. Will give you a brief story about it. Okay, and that's the best way to understand this story because a video of 3 minutes, 5 minutes is not going to explain you. Okay, now another important thing of this Mahabharata, in this event, Shri Krishna, Lord Krishna was present, so therefore, whatever he said was written in the form of Bhagavad Gita. So, it is a part of Mahabharata, you can say. So, that is why even Mahabharata is important. So, basically, these epics are important because it shows the family values, the lifestyle, their rules, duties to follow, all that is, you can see, encouraged, highlighted, all right. And that is why it is a main source to study about the Vedic age. Now, this literally source we end up here. Let's go to another source, that's archaeological source. In the archaeological source, if we talk about, there are lots of things that the fossils, the artifacts, the potteries, the jewelries, the monuments, and n number of things. But right now we are going to study only about Vedic age. So the archaeological source which we have which depicts the Vedic period is only two. One is iron artifacts, and second is the pottery. Now, iron artifacts, all the things which we have received, the vessels, the jewelry, and any other things, it fixes the chronology that, okay, this iron, this metal is into this chronology. So it gives a fixed date to us. All right. So that is why this iron artifacts are important. Secondly, it tells us that this was used by people in which form? They were using it for their agriculture, they were using it for their occupations, different kind of if the jewelry is there, so obviously the jewelers were there, the merchants were there. All right, so it shows the occupation. Then for defense, you can see bow, arrows, and all that shows swords were there, so it was used for defense. Okay. Another aspect of archaeological source comes is the pottery. Now, its presence also gives us lots of informations about the dates, the chronology. What kind of pottery was used in which kind of period? Okay, so several, and the spread of this iron artifacts or the pottery artifacts in the several areas shows that the Vedic age was covering which area of the world. All right. So its presence in several places gives the marks of the Aryans in that region. Yes, the Aryans were there in the Vedic period. Okay. So this was, when we talk about the monumental source, why we are not talking about the monumental source out here? Because currently you don't find so many monuments as such. But yes, our archaeological team is really, really working hard. I can just give you a few example of the progress which we have done it, but it is not mentioned in any literacy or any books. So the Dwarka Nagri of Sri Krishna, all right, which was during the time of Mahabharata, is under water, under sea. They have under river. They have found it, but the authentication is still work is going on at it. Then even the pool which was built by Lord Ram, which combined India and Sri Lanka. Somewhere it is visible, and but there is no authentication even of that this is the same pole. So again, the work is going on. That's the reason why we are still not mentioning it in the books as such. Yes, few authors have written the books. That's you can follow it. So there are several many such things. Even the palace of Ravan has been excavated. So many things are getting day by day excavated. Let's see, in future we might even get the monumental source of Vedic period in the future history. I'll be waiting for that. Anyways, I hope you are cleared and easily remember now the literary and the archaeological source of the Vedic time. The later their society, this economic and their occupation and all that, I'll cover it in my next video. So keep watching, like my video, and please subscribe. Thank you.